Welcome to another NQ Ninja review. Apologize for my voice. I lost it yesterday at a football game. So I want to review this morning's pre-market post that I posted on YouTube and show you kind of what happened today. And then we'll talk through some things that happened and then maybe look at tomorrow and what we might expect then. So this morning, around 9:15, I think I did it. I posted this around if we're strong, we're going to create this cup and handle. So you can see we had a cup and then we actually moved up to potentially create a handle there here if we were going to be strong. Now, one area that we noticed, and I'll show you this in a minute, was we had this daily trend line here that we had to break. And I'll show you, we did that clearly this morning. I actually posted some stuff around if we're weak, what we would see. And so I gave another scenario that if we were going to be weak, we're going to touch the top of this this daily wedge that we're in, and then we would actually break down off of that with a retest. And then I gave one more kind of example here on the 5-minute chart of what type of trade I might actually take. So I talked through it here. So if we broke this channel, I would actually take an entry at the retest, and then my stop loss would be right above this daily wedge. And then my target would actually be down here at this take profit level of 725-ish. Now it's funny because right when I posted this, I think like 3 minutes later, we literally broke out of this channel and went down right to this level. So that was kind of funny. But so that was this morning's post. Make sure you check out those posts if you do not already. And this is exactly what happened today. So we ended up being strong on the day. And so you can see here, we created the cup and then the handle up, just like I mentioned. And so that's what played out. You could call today what's called a trend day. This is on the hourly. Now, I don't normally just watch the hourly, but I do watch different zones. And so I'll move up on the higher levels, on the higher time frame zones, just to kind of understand. So why did I create this zone? Let's just kind of talk through that. I can see that we're creating all these resistance areas, right? I can see over here, it created support. We're creating resistance here, resistance. So it's a strong level that we see right here. So that's kind of why I did that. So what did I see this morning? Let's go ahead and just dive down into the 2-minute, and I'll kind of give you a lowdown on what I saw and maybe what we can expect for tomorrow. So this morning, I saw this channel that we were in, and this is on the 5-minute. So on my post, this is the exact same channel. I didn't even touch it since then. But and you can see right here that 725, it literally touched right here. Yeah, it's right here. And then we moved back up off of that. So it was a great level to take too, even if you were going to play shorts, because it would touch that and then it just bounced from there. Where did I get that level from? That 725. I'm just seeing a lot of support at that level. So as I zoom over again, I'm seeing a lot of support in that area. So that's why I was saying that as a potential area, and that's exactly what we got. Right, we got this really nice move to the upside, and then we had this push down, which was kind of a fake out. But even a fake out, it respects zones. So we did have this demand zone. We bounced off of that zone, and then you can see it open. We just pushed up off of that. There's a couple things here that we see. So this is what's called a no-wick candle on the 2-minute. Sometimes these no-wick candles signify strength, and that is exactly what we got here. So it's so strong that it actually didn't open and create a bottom wick on this particular candle. And then we just moved right back into this channel, which was our first sign of potential strength to the upside here. And then 9:30, you can see we just broke through. So once we broke above this area, very high chance of this moving back into this zone. Now, this would have been a red zone, pre-market. But once we broke up into it, at this point, I knew we were probably going to continue to move up. Out of that. Now let me remove some of these off of the charts. There we go. So that's what we kind of saw. Not really much to see here on the 5-minute other than a nice channel So we're really building liquidity, right? But we are respecting these zones. And so we bounce off, we push up, and then we hit our first level, right? Now this level was red, as I mentioned, and I didn't draw this after. This has been on my chart for a while. But look what we did. We actually broke through it, came down and retested it, which has been a really nice entry for a potential play. Now, the only thing I would be a little bit careful here is the time, right? So we're at 9:45, 9:46, 9:48 area. So we're actually still around the open time, which if you pay attention to open on NQ, sometimes we can get a huge move one way and then a huge move back down. So you just need to kind of be aware of that. But once we start to create higher highs, I want you to notice this, right? So if I look at this, that we're creating higher highs. Okay, so low. Here's a higher low. Higher lows. Here's a higher low, right? Higher low. Now we're creating a higher high up here to move back up into this zone. Now I could have, if I wanted to, take this off of this support. What I would have said, what I would be asking myself is, are we showing strength? And so seeing that we created a higher low here, what I could have did was, for example, taken a long, maybe like right here, make my stop at below the previous bottom. So my stop would be around this area. So we can call this our stop. Can't really write with on TradingView, but this would be my stop loss. This would be my entry. And then my target actually be, I know we're at 847, but it would probably be around this. I like to be more conservative. So I would have said like 895, right before we get to this zone. And so that's a huge move. If you're taking MNQs, I would highly encourage, if you have, anything less than a $4,000 account, to not play NQ, but play MNQ. You can play 5, which is half of an NQ. That would have really paid, and you would be done for the day, right? These are little things that we look for. Okay, so what else am I seeing here that we can kind of take from? So I know, and again, this is on the 2-minute. So I know that we're really kind of building. Looks like we're building liquidity here, right? So we had this move up, right? So we move up, break down, move up. This is all the market does, right? It's going to create more of a controlled move, and then we're going to start to see higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, broke above this trend line, okay? Came up, touched this area, probably, and it came back down, right? To create a fake out to the downside. But all we did was continue to move up out of that, right? So again, really kind of looking at these structures and what we're seeing. So in this situation, our zones are really going to help us. The second thing that we're seeing is that we're creating these higher lows out of these channels. So I can draw it, I can draw it with this as well. Something like that, something like that. Right. So the market is nothing more than a bunch of liquidity and algo channels that we must understand and not really predict, but react based on what we're seeing. Okay. So that's what we saw. Let's go ahead and move up here to kind of talk through maybe the rest of the day. So again, we really had this area up here that was supply. And again, I had this as an area of resistance, and sure enough, that was resistance. And you're going to see this a lot in the market as well. So these structures, right? So let me go ahead and zoom out here. I'm sorry, looking at the wrong one, but either way, it was the same thing, right? So we actually broke above this zone. But one thing I want to show you is strength, right? We move up. We're still moving up. But look what we're starting to do. We're starting to kind of fade, right? We're starting to kind of curve. And so what I'm thinking is probably, especially since we have this zone up here, might be trying to collect a little bit more liquidity. So it might try to come down a little bit. And that's exactly what we got. So again, big move this morning, continued, but then it started to kind of fade a little bit. If we don't go higher, then we're going to have to go lower, right? And that's kind of what we saw here. So that's what we saw. what could we see potentially tomorrow? So looking at this, let's kind of zoom out to our higher time frame. I do see, if we really look at these higher time frames, this could be an area to where now we start to break up out of this wedge. Let me go ahead and zoom out. So now we're looking at the 4 hour. Look, I don't use the 4 hour on typically during the day, but I use it to kind of understand what we're doing, right? So looks like we're trying to break up out of this zone that we have. Let me see what the 30 minutes showing us. 30 minutes giving us potential move down first. So maybe we kind of come down and bounce off of this zone and then move back up off of that, right? So, we had a big move here with this candle. Typically, we're going to try to fill half of this candle. So that's why I mentioned this zone, right? We might want to come back down, fill half of this zone, and then move up if we're going to be strong, okay? So what could I be looking at here? I could be looking at some sort of channel. Maybe we get some sort of controlled move here to take us back in, and then look for that break up, and then maybe take it to this zone up here. That's something we could be looking for. Something else we could be looking for is maybe we're just creating a head and shoulders, right? So we come up, right, and then we just break all the way back down and retest this zone or this wedge. That's the other thing we could be doing if we're going to be weak tomorrow. So keep your eye on that. Again, I will be posting in the YouTube post, and I try to do that by 9:15 once I kind of understand what the structure looks like before open. So make sure you check that out. Thanks for checking out the video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. I'll be posting every day videos, and I hope to see you soon.